I know that in your book you talk a little bit about your is it a values blueprint, or you talk a little bit about certain questions that we have to ask ourselves in order to make sure that who we're connecting with, you know, matches our core values with what we're actually about as individuals and stuff. From your perspective, what are some of the core questions that we need to ask ourselves with regards to making sure that we're not only practicing what we preach, but we're also doing what we need to do authentically and with integrity about ourselves?
I think there's only one real question that you need to always ask yourself when it comes. There's loads of questions you can ask to make sure that you know what your actual values are and that you are in integrity. But the biggest value is, would you still be doing the same thing that you're about to do if no one could see? Just ask yourself, like, really think about who you are and who you want to be as a person. I think this is easier when you have kids, because then you can ask yourself, would you still feel proud of something you're doing if you explain to your kids how you're doing it? I remember when the invisible offers thing came out, one person did it and then everybody did it. And invisible offers is trauma marketing at its worst. It was called ghost offers in the 80s. It got banned, and now suddenly the online audience have found it and everyone did it. And when I said to people, this is why it's bad, I want you to just understand why I don't think you should do it. And I tell them how it makes people feel, how people feel pressured to buy when prices go up and they don't even know what they're buying and that kind of thing. And the overriding answer that I got was, but everybody's doing it. And I feel like we need to stop thinking just because everyone's doing something, it must be okay. What do I feel about it? Can I sleep at night and do this? Because at the end of the day, there's no point making millions of pounds if you can't sleep at night.
We're going to feel that we need to act because of something they've said or done or whatever it is. What are some of the things that we need to look for with regards to thinking to themselves?
I think there's a few things we can do. I mean, red flags are, is it making you feel less than about yourself? Is somebody making you feel small? Examples of this. Oh, well, if you need to ask your husband whether you should spend this money, you're not really a businesswoman. We see that all the time when someone says, I just need to discuss it with my family. Of course, you're going to discuss it with the person that loved you the most. It makes no sense for someone to attack you for that. So if someone's making you feel small in any way, or saying, well, you will never make money unless you pay me this money, unless you do this, you're going to be stuck. There's all sorts of things that people are taught when it comes to selling. One of the things that people are taught, there are phrases that people use to close a sale. Now, you shouldn't have to do anything to close a sale. If your offer is good enough and that person needs your solution, they'll buy it. True. If people say, I can't afford it, if people say things like, I don't think it's the right time, what we often get taught to say is, well, what's going to change between now and next year? Or is your life going to be as bad then? This is trauma marketing. This isn't something that we should be doing. FOMO, fear of missing out. Everyone's coming in apart from you. They're all going to be way further ahead than you are. That's just FOMO. I think one of the biggest things we can do is give ourselves time. So if we're thinking about buying something, never say yes straight away. Do not let someone close you on a call. Just wait, have a think about it, and then go back. Have a real think about whether you need it. Do your due diligence. I don't mean hype. There's a load of hype online about certain people, because it's easy to create hype. I could create hype around me if I wanted to. It's pretty easy to do. You don't need to believe any of that. The best thing to do is do your due diligence. Go and talk to somebody who has actually done the program. Outside of everything else, go and talk to them and say, how was it?